yeah, man. So my next question, Daniel, is brought to you by B&D Sports Media, and it's about international players, of course. Who is the best international player to ever play in the NBA? That's a tough one,
Man,
man.
man, that's really tough. Um, what's cool about it is I think a lot of them I can say that I've played, either with or against some of those guys, whether it was in the NBA or Europe or internationally, like for our national teams. I mean, guys like Dirk Nowitzki, I was amazing. Manu Ginobili, those guys, like that era of basketball really set the tone for a lot of the guys that are here now, like Luka, Joel Embiid, Giannis. And I watched that movie about Giannis, and I did play against him towards the end of my career for Puerto Rico, and just seeing some of the places they had in that movie, I was like, man, I was, around some of those places or there, and so it's just pretty cool how the international game has influenced the NBA, and I think it's been for the better because the guys like Ginobili are just an amazing talent. I mean, you look at some of those guys and you're like, I don't know if this guy could play, but then
Best
they go
six
out
man.
there, yeah, and they go out there and they surprise you because not only can they play, but they have that basketball IQ, and they find a way. They find a way, and they take a lot of them, take out the myth that all European players are soft, or all those things that a lot of the Americans like to say about the European players. But I find it the opposite, because in reality they have to leave their countries to go and play in another country and shine at that level. Jokic, Sabonis, those, it's not easy. And I know what it is like to have to leave, your country to go and play in another country and play by their rules and their language and things like that. So, I think those kinds of guys that are coming up, I really like what Luka is doing. I think he is an amazing player, and I really thought he was going to do well before he got over here, just because he was playing at a high level in Europe with Real Madrid. And there's just so much space for him to work with. And then if you surround him with guys that can shoot and play as well,
Definitely, man.
it's kind of a pick your poison kind of thing. So yeah, I mean, Ginobili has got to be one of the top guys. Dirk Nowitzki, and as I'm watching Luka, Embiid, I think that would be like kind of my top four, and I'm sure I'm missing
The
some other
Joker has to be up
guys.
there too. He's a
Yeah,
beast.
yeah, Joker and Giannis, um, and just not only how they play the game, but the way they play the game. Like, it's to compete. It's not to um, you know, do anything disrespectful to anybody other than, I got you on the dunk, and now try to get me on the other end, that kind of a thing. You know what I mean? So I think those guys would be, top five, and you could even go back farther to, Arvinas Sabonis, and he wasn't even in his prime when he made it to the league, and that shows how much talent and size that he had and what he was able to do with that size. So there's a lot. There's a lot. But yeah, I think, Ginobili would have to be up there. Um,
Hey,
you
you
know,
didn't mention Tony Parker. Come on, man, from
I was
France.
gonna say Tony. I was gonna say Tony Kukoc. I played with Tony Kukoc in Milwaukee for a year. That was a lot of fun. It's just, now there's so many. It's hard to choose, and you kind of have to go maybe by, decades or the years and things like
Hmm.
that. But those definitely, those names are very worth mentioning. And like I said, I've had the honor and pleasure to either play against them or with them.
Heck yeah, man. Well,
So I don't have
Daniel,
a real definite answer for you.
hey, for me, I think Ginobili has to be up there. I think he was drafted in the second round for
Right.
San Antonio.
Right.
That's a steal right there. Like
Yeah.
in that little decade with the Spurs, with Tim Duncan, Tony
Mhm.
Parker, and all those guys for all those championships,
Yeah.
he had a great career.
Yeah. Yeah. And a great career internationally as well. I remember playing against him when he first was over in Italy. And the team I played for, we lost to his team in like the quarterfinals. And I mean, he was all over the court. He was just everywhere, made difficult shots. He gave us a hard time. And then after that, he went to like a stronger Italian team and then had success. I think he won EuroLeague. I think he won basically everything there is to win for an international and NBA player. Winning gold in the Olympics, being a part of winning EuroLeague, winning, the leagues that he was playing for in Italy and things like that. Like, I mean, I've won a lot and I've been very fortunate, but it is very, very difficult to do. So yeah, he's got to be up there.
Definitely. Didn't he play for Argentina too?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Pretty sure.
They won gold in 2004. They were we when I was playing for Puerto Rico, we beat USA in the Olympics in 2004. The 2 years before that, in 2002, they beat USA in the World Championships in Indianapolis. So they were like the first ones to do that. And I remember because Puerto Rico played, we beat Yugoslavia, who was eventual champs, and we lost to USA by like 11. And it was a great tournament. And there were some really good players in that tournament, but they won that. Or I'm sorry, they got silver because Yugoslavia beat them in a real controversial game there. But they were like the first team to beat USA. They had all the NBA guys, and like I just remember everybody at the hotel just like cheering for them, just like they cheered for us when we beat USA in 2004. Everybody in the Olympic like village and in the cafeteria like was cheering us and everything like that. So those are some special moments that we both kind of had